let's wait right there. Can we take a step back and can you explain for all of us what the Snyderverse is?
It is a 4-hour extended cut of what I presume was going to be the 2.5 to 3 hour theatrical cut of Zack Snyder's Justice League that he had on a computer and took with him when he left the Warner Brothers lot. It also needed about $70 million worth of post-production work. So the idea that it was almost finished, it was, a complete film.
You disagree. Okay.
It was, I don't want to call him a liar on the air, but it may have been, what do they call it in politics? It was a mistruth. And whatever, this is not, I don't want to paint the giant corporation as a victim here.
Mm-hmm.
He spends a year, whatever long, recutting and doing post-production work, musical scores and all the stuff that goes into making a movie. He goes off and shoots a new epilogue, allegedly without Warner Brothers' permission, and by default not adhering to COVID protocols, which is why Warner Brothers gets mad at him all over again, because, again, without picking a side, if somebody had gotten sick with COVID while making a Warner Brothers movie, even if Warner Brothers didn't give permission, they might have been in legal hot water.
Yeah, that's on their hands. Potentially.
So if they were still kind of grouchy, if they were still kind of at each other's throats even after the movie came out, that was a big reason why. And again, this is not a good and evil conversation.
No. And was the movie well received?
Yes, it got excellent reviews. And frankly, it is a better film than the theatrical cut. And frankly, it's a better film than the theatrical cut of Batman v Superman. Having said that, I think the extended cut of Batman v Superman, which was released on Blu-ray and with 30 minutes more additional footage, was a better picture than the theatrical cut. Do I think it would have been better received? A little bit. Do I think there exists a perfect 160-minute or ideal 160-minute version of Batman v Superman that could have played in theaters and could have been a PG-13 that probably would have been better received? Yes. That being said, do I think that there's an ideal 170-minute version of Zack Snyder's Justice League that could have played in theaters? Yes. So mistakes were made on both sides.
Got it.
My big thing with Warner Brothers is that they panicked when Man of Steel underwhelmed. Mm-hmm. And they said, well, let's throw in Batman, because that's their answer to everything. Warner Brothers stands for Where's Batman? And, there are reasons to that. Between The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises in 2008 and 2012, Catwoman bombed, Jonah Hex bombed, Green Lantern bombed. So Superman Returns, between Batman Begins and Superman Dark Knight, Superman Returns bombed. So there is a paper trail of non-DC, non-Batman films struggling at the box office. Mm-hmm. Prior to Wonder Woman, the biggest grossing non-Batman, non-Superman DC film was Keanu in a superhero film was Keanu Reeves' Constantine, which made about $240 million on a $100 budget in 2005. Here's a fun full circle alert. What was the biggest DC film that wasn't Batman or Superman before Wonder Woman? It was Zack Snyder's 300, which made $457 million in early 2007.
So is Zack Snyder still with Warner Brothers?
Oh, no.
He's separate.
And that's part of the absurdity of all the fans saying, we want the Snyderverse restored. We want, to get Justice League 2 and Justice League 3. And he's at Netflix. And as far as I know, he's pretty happy there. I mean, he's being given carte blanche to do whatever he wants. And come what may, I think Army of the Dead, which I was fortunate enough to see in a theater, is one of the few wannabe Netflix blockbusters that looks and feels like the genuine article. It's a good movie. And I hope he gets to make his, I think it's called Rebel Moon. Mm-hmm. As far as I know, it's still in production. I mean, I don't want to speak out of turn. And that's basically a giant budget original sci-fi film that's basically going to be a riff on the Seven Samurai, as was frankly the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. Allegedly his two favorite films are Excalibur and Seven Samurai. And Batman v Superman is absolutely his Excalibur. And while Justice League is basically his Seven Samurai.
No, it goes back for years, and the fandom on Twitter I know runs very deep.
You asked me why nobody wants the DC job,
Yes.
because the discourse has seeped into the mainstream, and people, and Walter Hamada who is an Asian man, by the way. I don't know if he's Asian American or Asian Australian like James Wan, so forgive me. But he got, online death threats and the usual nonsense thrown his way because he got raised up as sort of the final boss in the Snyderverse discourse wars. And after he came on board, the
Mhm.
edict was, okay, we're going to stop trying to be like Marvel. We're going to do our own thing. And they did their own thing. They had loosely connected movies of all varying shapes and sizes that were relatively well received and relatively commercially successful. Then in 2021, or 2020, 2021, Jason Killer comes in of AT&T and says, okay, we're going to put all of our eggs in the HBO Max basket. That means Wonder Woman 84 gets kneecapped. That means the Suicide Squad gets kneecapped. That means they greenlight a bunch of HBO Max movies, Batgirl, Blue Beetle, etc., Wonder Twins. But then what happens? AT&T goes bye-bye. Warner Brothers gets brought in by Discovery with an entirely different corporate overlord, David Zaslav, who decides to make a completely 180-degree turn that says, oh, no, we don't want these DC films playing on HBO Max. Its theaters are nothing. Oh, and we want our own 10-year plan to copy what Marvel did. So everything that doesn't apply to that is no more. And oh, we want Walter Hamada out of there because we want our own guy. So why would anyone want to take that job when for the last several years, DC Films has constantly been besieged by differing and changing leadership with often completely different corporate goals and corporate goalposts for what constitutes success?
Seems like there's a lot of upheaval there with Batgirl getting canned. The Flash, is it coming out? David Zaslav is saying yes, but the controversy surrounding Ezra Miller is up in the air. But Scott Mendelson, thank you so much, and we will keep this conversation going next time.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to hear you. By the way, if Mr. Zavlov is listening, I'll take the job.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first. Thank you.